Level 4 Region Study Guide. We're going to be talking about the biggest, most important things from this chapter. The first and most basic one is that the three angles in a triangle, the interior angles, always add up to 180. So if you want to find that missing angle, or you know the three angles, you just add them up. 38 plus 53 plus, I don't know this one, so let's put an X there, should equal 180. The three angles in a triangle equal 180. We also know the exterior angle. If I want to know this exterior angle right here, and that is my exterior angle, why is it called the exterior angle? Because it is on the outside. The exterior angle, we're going to use the exterior angle theorem, which is the two interior angles add up to equal the exterior angle. So in this case, 50 plus 80 will tell me what my exterior angle is, which is equal to 130. Whenever you know the exterior angle of a triangle, just use this setup to solve it. The two interiors added together equals the exterior. Second part of this lesson, you might remember this, but these congruent statements, triangle MNO is congruent to triangle JKL, this actually means something very important. This tells us that angle M is congruent to angle J because they are in the same place. It also tells me that angle N is congruent to angle K. So N is congruent to K. And furthermore, O is congruent to L. But it doesn't just tell us about the angles, it also tells us about the sides. It tells me also that MN is congruent to JK, so MN is congruent to JK. NO is congruent to KL. And therefore, OM must be congruent to JL. So these congruent statements mean something. The order matters. Don't forget that. The order matters. That is the biggest thing you need to take away from this. Isosceles triangles, you might remember this, but if you have an isosceles triangle, that meaning two sides are the same, you also know two angles must be the same. How do you figure out which angles are the same? Here's a nice little method for you. Highlight the congruent sides, all right? Those are your congruent sides. And then use a different color to highlight your base. Oh, that is ugly. All right? The base angles are always the same. So if this is 40, let's go to the other angle on the base. Ugh. This will also be 40. Let's do that a little darker. The base angles are congruent. Those will be the same ones. You can use that little trick, it'll help you out a lot. Now to find the measure of angle C, we've already done it, and that is that. Finally, proving triangles are congruent. There are 5 ways to prove they are congruent. There is angle, side, angle. There is angle, angle, side. There's, let's see, side, 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 angle, side. And the last one that people always forget, HL. Don't forget, there is none, zero ass in math, or s. That's just ass backwards. There is no ass in math. These are the 5 ways to prove triangles are congruent. The way to prove them is that you'll be given information and you use that to mark the triangles. You could only use the given information to mark it, and if the sides are the same, if they share a side, remember you can mark that, or if they're vertical angles, you can mark that. But that's the only things you can mark. The given information, if they share a side, or if the angles are vertical. Those are the only things you're allowed to mark. So we already, right here, marked that these two sides are the same, so we mark that. We also know that AB is congruent to BC, so we can mark that. And we know BD, which is this line right here, is perpendicular AC. This line means perpendicular. This little sign means perpendicular, so it means it creates a 90-degree angle. What kind of congruence is this? You might remember this, but since we have a 90-degree angle, a leg and a hypotenuse, that would be HL. So we know ABD is congruent to CBD because of hypotenuse leg. That 90-degree angle should be a great hint that this is hypotenuse leg. Hypotenuse leg is only for 90-degree triangles. Let's try another one. We already marked the vertical angles, and now we're going to mark the given information. We know BE is congruent to CE, And we know angle A is congruent to angle D. Looking over here, what kind of congruence we have? We have two angles in a side, so that could either be angle side angle or angle angle side. But which one is it? Here's a good way to find out. Take your two sides, two angles, and highlight them. All right? These two angles, I highlight them. Is the side between the two angle? No. So that means this must be angle, angle, side, because the side is not between the two angles. So AEB is congruent to DEC because of angle, angle, side. All right, that's it for this lesson. Remember, don't forget to check your notes and that you are a superstar in your heart.